All right, guys. So in the last video, I talked about whether it's sine versus cosine, how to find the amplitude, and the midline, which leaves us just with b, which we know comes from our period. And we know that the period equals 2 pi divided by b, right? So we know period equals, do my best here, I'm writing with the mouse, 2 pi divided by b. Okay, so now, given the graph, you're not going to be able to immediately just determine what b is, but what you can tell from the graph is what the period is. So in this case, it's a sine graph. The period for a sine graph is from your starting point, so we're at a midline, 2 midline points away. So right here. Okay, so basically, a full cycle, you have to go to the max and go down to the min and then back to where you started. Okay, so from 0, a full period is to the max, down to the min, and back to where we started at the midline. And the x value right there is pi over 2, so that's our period, pi over 2. So again, in a sine graph which starts at the midline, your period is 2 midlines away, so pi over 2. Okay, so now you're setting up the equation pi over 2 equals 2 pi over b. Okay, so now, algebraically, to solve for b here, you would take 2 pi divided by pi over 2. Okay, if we ended up solving for b, algebraically, it would really be 2 pi divided by pi over 2, and keep change flip, that really means 2 pi times 2 over pi. Keep the 2 pi, change division to multiplication, and flip pi over 2 to 2 over pi. Okay, but the easier way to do it might be to just kind of think about it logically. You need 2 pi divided by some number to equal pi over 2. Basically, 2 pi over what number is going to reduce to pi over 2? And I know that 2 over 4 reduces to 1/2, or 2 pi over 4 would reduce to pi over 2. Okay, so I know that my answer for B is 4. And again, it might be easier to just kind of think about it like that. 2 pi divided by what number is going to reduce to pi over 2? But again, if you need to do it algebraically, keep change flip. So 2 pi times, instead of division, change to multiplication, and then flip to 2 divided by pi. And I'm sorry for the horrible handwriting. The only way I can write here is with the mouse. So 2 pi times 2 over pi is going to give me 4 pi over pi. Okay, 4 pi divided by pi. The pi's will just cancel, and therefore b equals 4. Okay, so in general, solving for b, find your period and take 2 pi divided by the period, and that will equal b. When the period is a fraction, use keep change flip. So 2 pi divided by a fraction like pi over 2 really means 2 pi times the reciprocal, which is 2 over pi. Okay, when you're done, submit answer. It will ask if you're sure. Click yes, and we got it right.